Ladies and gentlemen, our first contestant, Scott Manning. Scott Manning, our first contestant.
Ms. Butler's speech, the dream come true, was fantastic. Your opening statement really got me hooked, because I was wondering where you were going to take this speech. But when you started describing Chicago, I felt like I was walking next to you. And as you described the tower, I could see myself looking up the base of it and looking up to it and seeing the 110 floors of it. I felt myself in the summer in Chicago, walking down with you and your future husband at the time. And your vocal languages and body language was fantastic. And as you climbed up those elevators, climbed them into the elevator, and your voice got nervous, I actually thought you were getting nervous speaking. And it's like, this is unusual, but then I realized it was a trick. You were actually describing that you were truly nervous, and it was fantastic. I thought you were truly nervous. And when you walked up to Mr. Hall and shaked it as if that was your future husband, and you just said, we have to get married over here, and your voice suddenly became calm, then you caught me. You said, that was a trick. And as you walked over and got married, and start going through the phase of the marriage, it was fantastic. Now, the only thing I got distracted on is you're up in the tower, and you're describing the summer, and what you see from the lakes and all that stuff, and that was great. But then you went into the winter. Now, I know you're not there in the winter with a short-sleeve shirt. I've been in Chicago in the winter. No one walks around with short-sleeve shirts. So that was one of the distracting things, because I'm thinking, I'm in summer, I'm walking next to this couple, and we're going upstairs and getting married. And where's winter come into play? So that was one thing, if I was going to redo the speech, I'll leave that section of the speech out. But your vocal languages, you caught me really by surprise. It was fantastic. And the fact that you used your hands to describe how tall the tower was, the flowing paperwork, that was great. I mean, I literally felt like I've been in Chicago with you, and I've only been there once or twice, and now the third time with you. Thank you very much.
Have 1 minute of silence. Ladies and gentlemen, our second contestant, Horace Freeman. Horace Freeman, our second contestant.
Madam Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters on the guests, and Ms. Colette Butler. Very good speech. When you began, the way you began sat there and I'm wondering, where is this going? We were a little bit reserved at first. The dancing and the dining. You started off also with your body language and your hand movement. That too seemed a little calm at the time. When you're talking about Chicago, you're thinking, Chicago, Chicago, my kind of town. And then, the place where dreams come true. Perhaps something along that line might have enhanced that intro for you. But that's not to say that you didn't give us a good one. And then, you began to give us a taste of what was coming. You began to move out. You began to allow yourself to loosen up and to really give this audience the excitement of Chicago. The body language became developed very well, and you had excellent use of vocal variety. You also allowed us to peer through your eyes with your imagery, listening, breathtaking, and the way your heart was beating, especially that sound that you were making. Humor was timely and very appropriate. The excitement to me was very refreshing, which led to that part where then you began to share about what this dream was all about. There were good pauses in there, and once again, you used good language to kind of share with us how you felt. The thing that I believe that, because as you got to your ending and you began to share what was coming, the wedding, I believe that if you had paused a little bit more, gave us a little bit of that emotion about how you felt at that time, the impact of that, as well as you and him there, and how wonderful it was, that would have taken us into that dream ourselves. So at the end, we too would have been saying, ah, Madam Contest Master.
Have 1 minute of silence. Our third and final contestant, Mr. Jerod Powers. Jerod Powers, our third contestant.
It truly is a great day at North Jack's Toastmasters. Colette, let me thank you for traveling out here and assisting us with this. It takes a brave soul to come into another club in front of people that you don't know and to give such a presentation. It's easy to do when we're familiar with the faces around us week after week. So let me commend you first on helping us in our evaluation contest. Your speech was very well prepared. It flowed well. You had good movement. You used the entire speaking area. However, one thing I would consider when we're using the entire speaking area is to make a point, move, make a point, transition, make a point, and end up back in front of your entire speaking audience. You did a great job engaging everyone with your eye contact, your body language added to your speech. However, one thing I noticed was that this is where your hand was when you weren't using it. Notice where my hand is when I'm not using it? Right here. When we're not using our hands, let them lay beside our sides. Otherwise, they may detract from our speech. Another thing that I would encourage you, a gift, if I may. Have you ever considered preparing an introduction? Imagine if every time you go out to speak, you have a prepared introduction that you can hand a Toastmaster, an MC, something that says, "Hi, I'm Colette Butler, competent communicator, member of Lilly and Bradley Club. I've been working on this presentation." If you prepare something that you always have, wherever you go, you're prepared. And a Toastmaster wears many hats. And you will be surprised if people know you're a Toastmaster, they will ask you to speak. And if you have a prepared introduction that you can give them, and they can read, and it lets your audience know who you are, that sets you apart from the competition. Contest Master.